Meezaan Jaffrey, thank you so much for joining me on ETimes.
Not at all. Thank you so much for having me.
Son of Javed Jaffrey, a quirky comedian, and a grandson of the legend Jagdeep. Isn't that benchmark of making the people laugh, making you tense?
Yeah, definitely. It's a big responsibility. It's a chip on the shoulder. I think it's an expectation that everyone's going to have. But I honestly don't think about it at all. I think more about doing my best and being the best of Meezaan than trying to justify someone else or do something else or try to ape or copy someone else. It's about me finding my own personality and my own I don't know what it is yet. I think it's too early in my career as well. I'm still exploring, and I'm waiting to see what the audience expects from me as well. And I think now that I'm doing Hungama 2, which is a genre and a film that is very similar to the kind of films that my father and my grandfather have done. It is an expectation, but I'm not worried, to be honest. I'm just being the best version of me that I can. And yeah, that's about it. So it is a big responsibility.
Tell me straight that do filmmakers perceive you in roles which are funny? Only in that?
No. I don't know. It's not happened yet. I mean, I'm getting all kinds of scripts, all kinds of films. But there's a certain kind of way that I'm trying to project myself. So I'm just waiting for the right kind of films that I would want to do, right after Hungama, or a film that I would want myself to be seen in. So, but answering your question, no, not at all. It's not just comedy films. Actually, the kind of films that I've got are very dark, to be honest. Which have come my way. And Hungama is actually the only full comedy film that I have been offered, and it's a big franchise, and it's my dream to work with someone like Priyadarshan. So it's a great opportunity. He's one of the best directors and filmmakers that we have in the country. This is his 96th film of all genres, not just comedy. That the thing is that in Bollywood and in India, some parts of India, that we see him as a comedy filmmaker, but if you see his other films, he's made films of all genres. So I just wanted to work with a craftsman like that, and that at so early at a stage in my career was it's a God gift for me. So I'm extremely excited. I'm waiting for everyone to see the film now.
So what you want to project yourself as? You said you have something in mind that you want to take it forward.
Right. So my first film was a romantic drama, and I finished that film. Then I got into a comedy, which I'm doing now, which is the Priyadarshan, which is Hungama 2. And after this, I mean, I don't want to give too much away, but I'm wanting to do an action movie, right after this. So I'm trying to hit at every genre that I think that I could do, and obviously time will tell as to what the audience sort of likes me in. That is something I'm sure happens with every actor. There were actors we've seen in part of our industry who were romantic heroes and then suddenly became action heroes, and today they're superstars as action heroes. But that's because the audience made that decision for them. Sometimes you and I can sit here and be like, okay, no, I want to be this, and मैं तो hero ही बनूंगा, and मैं तो ये ही करूंगा, and मैं तो ये ही genre की films करूंगा. But it doesn't work like that. And I think it's a process that you have to let time and the people decide as to how it's going to take place. So even though I can today think that, okay, I'm going to do this and I want to be this, obviously I'm going to try my best and do as many. So that is why I'm doing as many different genres as I can. And I'm trying to put myself out there in different ways that I see myself. So yeah, and I'm just taking it, as going with the flow.
So what I gauge is that you like action, but you're holding your cards to your chest, close to your chest.
I guess, yeah.
Waiting for the public to decide
Right.
and the
But I
review.
think we'll know once an action movie that I've done comes out. I think we'll know that.
Yeah, yeah. But tell me, Meezaan, were you disappointed when Malaal did not hit the bullseye?
So, it's at that stage, yes. I was very hurt. I was very upset. There was a lot of time and effort that goes into making a film, and especially a film with two newcomers, because you spend more time than regular film on that. There's a lot of training that goes. There's a lot of workshops that take place. There's a lot of thinking that goes. That okay, isko kaise project karna hai? How will we project our hero? How will we project the lead girl of the film? We're introducing them to the public for the first time. So too many things. But it was a great process for me, a great film for me, because I feel in terms of acting, I had a lot of challenges for that character. So I challenged myself as much as I could, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity that they gave me that kind of a role. Sanjay sir and the director Mangesh Adavale gave me and saw that in me to play that character, and they have that much faith in me, because at that point in time even I was scared. I was like, will I be able to play this character? It's a Marathi character from a chawl. It's a world that I have never seen. It's a culture that I have seen, but not so closely to be it. So that was very challenging for me to become that part. And yeah, the movie didn't do well in the box office, but I get really happy, because today we have mediums and platforms like Instagram where people can get directly in touch with you and message you and tell you how they felt about your film, etc., etc. So it's on Netflix now. A lot of people have been watching it on Netflix. I get a lot of messages, people commenting about my acting, about the film, how they felt, how it impacted them, and that I think makes up for all the bad times, and whenever I felt bad about the box office numbers.
In hindsight, what do you think went wrong with Malaal?
I personally think we didn't promote it enough. The promotions is where it lacked heavily, according to me. But especially when you are uh, promoting, like bringing in two newcomers, so there's like a extra push that you need, and I think that's somewhere where we lacked. And in today's day and age, there's so much information coming in every single day. You're sitting on your Instagram, whatever other platforms that we have today of social media. There's so much information, so it's very important for you to give a head start to two newcomers, to properly prominently establish them in people's heads, and people to see them, or even give them that chance to go to the theater to go and see these two newcomers. So promotion, yeah, I would say.
What I read was that your dad is not someone who will pick up the phone and call up a producer or a director and say that cast my son.
I mean, he's not done that till now. I'm glad.
Yeah. So, do you pick up the phone and call up a filmmaker? Many actors do in today's times.
100%, 100%. I have called up filmmakers, producers, script writers, every single person, and I guess you have to in today's times. You have to put yourself out there, and you have to see. I'm super hungry to do work and keep working at all times. I hate sitting idle. So for me, it's like work, work, bring me work, bring me work, bring me work. So I'm messaging as many people as I can. I'm messaging as many directors who I would want to work with. I'm not just messaging for the sake of messaging. It's not like, okay, because you're a big production house and this director is big, I'm going to message you. The messages only come from me if I'm a fan of your work and I truly want to be in one of your films. And I will keep harassing them. Sorry?
Do they respond to your harassment?
I was getting to that only right now. So there are many who are extremely courteous and they respond immediately. And then there are some who don't respond at all. And there are messages on my phone where I've been messaging them for 1 year, and more than a year actually, just at it. Mahine mein ek baar I just message them randomly. I'm like, hi sir, how are you? how's it going? I don't know if you remember me, but I would still like to meet you whenever you are free. Please let me know. So yeah, I mean, I'm still going to keep doing it. It doesn't matter.
Does your dad tell you, जो नहीं जवाब दे रहा है उसको छोड़ दो?
No, I think my dad actually asked me if I really want it, and he's like, if you really want it, you should keep pursuing it. And he's like, don't let it go up at all. So I think that's something that stayed within me, and I keep following up with these people, you know. And movies like Hungama, it is not something that I even heard of or thought of, and it just came my way somehow or the other, and I'm really grateful for that. You know, I randomly got a call saying Priyadarshan ki film karega, and I was like, what? Yeah, for sure, I'm going to do it. And yeah, so whatever is, I think every film has its own destiny, and whatever is meant to be and has to come your way, it will. You know, there have been many films that I have tested for and went to someone else, and then I don't know what happened with those films. They got shelved, they didn't get made, they didn't do well. So I believe I take it you know, in a positive way, and I'm just like, you know, whatever's meant for me will come my way. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to just sit and wait for it to come my way. I'm obviously going to give it my 100% and try everything and keep working for it. So yeah.
Any role you refused, you were not very sure, and that film went on to do well?
नहीं अभी तक तो I think they're in the making process. So none that have no, nothing like that.
But you have refused a few.
Yes.
What are the grounds you say no to a project?
I think in today's day and age, people have become very smart, as in the audience. So they look at the content that you're giving them. So the script and the film has to make sense, you know. And I'm someone who sits and watches all kinds of films and TV shows at home. So I know exactly what the audience wants and exactly what the audience, you know, needs right now, because it's something, because I'm also the audience. I'm also sitting at home and watching, "Ye kya bakwas hai? You know, what are you showing me?" So I also change the movies at the same speed that the audience changes it and puts it off. So, you know, whenever it is that I didn't find the script interesting, or I didn't think the story makes sense, and or I thought that this is very ghisa pita, it's been done before, it is the same thing that's being repeated again, I say no to them.
We had a big loss last year. We lost your
Right.
father.
Right.
Could you tell us something about him, some special memories that you have? You have mentioned somewhere that his house was a place where a lot of stories were exchanged over lunch and dinner.
Right. So every Sunday we used to have
one story that he told you.
Okay, let me think, because there's so many. You know, he used to tell me basically about okay, would you like to hear a story about his personal life or something related to the industry?
Both.
Okay. Okay, so the personal life story is he used to work at you know where the Mahim junction is, near the church?
Yeah.
Okay, so he used to sell, so there's a dargah also, right? The famous Mahim dargah, which is ahead. So my dada's mother used to make rotis and feed the poor people over there. You know, like sometimes you can come and give charity over there, and they feed people over there at the dargah. So she used to make rotis over there, and my dada used to sell soap at one of the signal corners. And you know, they were going through really hard times, and you know, they were trying to make as much money as possible to just feed themselves on a daily basis. You know, and one day there were these 2-3 guys who came, and they saw my grandfather, and they said, you know, will you come to Film City and act? And he said, you know, what is acting? I don't know what any of this is, you know. So they showed him a few posters on the wall. So they said, you know, these films that you know, which you see in the theater, would you like to be a part of one of them? So he said, what will I get if I do that? So they said, you'll get money. and at that point of time, he used to also sell, try and put, if you get all the breadcrumbs which you see fallen, if you collect them, you can sell them as well. So that's what he used to do, along with the soap. So, you could imagine how bad the times were for him and his mother. And then he got this offer, and then they said, tomorrow we'll come and pick you up and we'll take you to the set with us. So he said, okay, fine. So his mom kept him ready the next day, and they took him. And they took him to the set, and it was, I think Yashji was the assistant director on the film. I think it was a B.R. Chopra film. And he was sitting in the audience as an extra, along with a lot of other children. So Yashji was the assistant, and there was this one guy whose dialogue, he was a Darban. So he had to come and say that, falana falana padhar rahe hain, and whatever, in Urdu, in like Shuddh Urdu. So he was not being able to say it. And Yashji came to everyone else in the audience and he said, yahan par kisi ko Urdu aati hai? So my grandfather looked at the kid next to him and he said, मुझे तो आती है, अगर मैं हाथ उठाऊंगा तो क्या होगा? So he's like, दो आने के चार आने हो जाएंगे. So then he immediately put his hand up. He was like, I'm getting more money. Obviously, I'll do it. And then they called him, and he did the shot. And then obviously the rest is history, because then he started acting as a child artist in a lot of other films. And recently, it's funny because I was going through on his birthday, I think Times of India had put out some article or something, remembering him and all his pictures and his work over the years. And there was a still from that film where he stood as a Darban, exactly the story that I told you. And it was really funny watching it because, that story just came into my mind when I saw that picture. So
that's the industry story. What about the personal one?
Personal one, there are many. It's he had very difficult times which he was dealing with because his family was against whatever he was doing, and they were trying to take all the money from him. So there are many personal stories, but I think the ones that stick to me the most are the ones as a whole is about how he kept his mother with him, and and he always took care of his mother for the rest of his life. And she was extremely dear to him, even when the rest of the family had thrown the mother out. He left with the mother from the house in UP, and he stayed with her, and he took care of her in whatever way he could. So I think these values and the way he behaved with his mother, I think it's somewhere carried forward, and it teaches us a lot in terms of how to take care of our parents today. Today the culture and the times are very different, and people are very different. They move out of their houses. People are staying alone. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm not judging anyone, but it's not me, and it's not my culture. It's not where I come from. It's not the way I'm brought up. So I think and obviously that's because of my parents and my grandparents.
His father didn't break away from his family and hold his wife's hand and his son's hand?
No. He had passed away by then. So it was just the brothers and the mother and him, and the brothers sort of just wanted to take over the house, and they threw the mother out and all of that. And he sort of went ahead with her.
But when he was alive, was he in support of his wife, or was he a victim of that patriarchal system?
No, he was. Are you talking about my grandfather or his father?
His father.
His father. No. He was. Supportive. He was supportive.
Yeah. But since he had passed away, the brothers wanted to take advantage.
Right, exactly.
Right. So that was one part which was very integral in this interview. And one more part, without which the interview will be incomplete, are the 3 N's in your life. Navya, Naveli, Nanda. The person is one, though.
It's been such a long time since someone has asked me a question about Navya. When I was promoting Malaal, it was just like boom, 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 coming my way. But no, honestly, me and Navya are really close friends. And I think because of me like her name has come up in a lot of places, and I think that's unfair. And because it's her privacy and it's her private life, and I don't want to include her family or her in any of mine. It's really unfair to be talking about someone else at this point of time. And she's just a friend of mine. If you're asking about what is going on, so those speculations are wrong. We're just friends, and and our families have known each other for a long time. Because we've been in the industry for so long. So that's about it. She's best friends with my sister, and they both are studying in New York. Well, they're back now in Bombay. So yeah.
So does this speculation and do these stories make it uncomfortable for you to visit her house?
Initially, yes. Actually, to be honest, it's very difficult to travel anywhere in Bombay now because they know your car numbers now. So they just follow your car everywhere because they know the number plates. The paparazzi are everywhere. They're at the airports, they're at the restaurants, they're at people's houses. And and Jalsa is like a wonder of the world. It's a monument in Mumbai. So they're always there, but no, I don't think whenever, and I don't visit her that often. Obviously, if there's a birthday or a function or something like that, we meet. But that's about it. I think people are expecting more. People are wanting me.
My question was not restricted to paparazzi. My question was make it uncomfortable for you, or at least did for some time when those stories were circulating thick and fast. At that time, did it make it tough for you to enter her house, and was it awkward?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was awkward for me to enter my own house because my parents were giving me looks at that point of time, and they were like, "What is this?" And I'm like, even I don't know. So, but yeah, it did make it difficult in the beginning, but I think we're fine now. It's been a long time since that news had come out. It's been like probably 3 years or so, 4 years almost. Yeah.
So now you go to Jalsa. Now there's no problem.
No, as in I will go to my friend's house and there's an event or there's a party happening or something like that. But that's about it. Last I actually went there was for the Diwali bash where the whole industry comes.
Sure. So that awkwardness is gone now. I mean, what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Meezaan, I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, and I hope that you're doing well, and please take care because these are difficult times for everybody, and I hope you are staying safe, and everyone at home as well.
So far, so good. We are trying our best.
That's good.
Really, really tough.
Yeah, I know.
So, a big thank you to you from the entire team of ETimes here.
No, thank you for having me.